Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and very interesting situation regarding star pass rusher Hassan Reddick. So, Hassan Reddick had dropped his agency, or his agency had dropped him. It was one or the other, folks. Anyway, point being is that after that had happened, Hassan Reddick had hired Drew Rosenhaus, very, very famous agent in NFL circles, to be his new representative. And Drew Rosenhaus had came out and said that he was very excited to have a positive outcome of this situation with the New York Jets, and that Hassan Reddick was excited to be a New York Jet for many, many years to come. But now it has come out that Hassan Reddick has been granted permission to seek a trade by the New York Jets. So will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers be interested? Well, let's first take a look at how the pass rush is doing right now. So in terms of first blitzing, the Buccaneers are blitzing still like nobody's business. They are the third most blitzing team in the NFL right now. The only two teams ahead of them are the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos. They are blitzing at 25.5% of dropbacks. That is the eighth most in the NFL. They have 20 quarterback hurries, which is good for seventh most in the NFL. Their hurry percentage is 7.2% per drop back. That is good for, I want to say, around 14th to 15th in the league. They have 22 total quarterback knockdowns in the NFL right now. That is good for fifth most in the league, tied for fourth most, I should say, with the Denver Broncos. Their quarterback knockdown percentage per pass attempt is 9%. That is closer to 10th most in the NFL right now. In fact, I believe it is number 10 with 9%. In terms of sacks this year, they are at 17 sacks so far this year. That is good for ninth most in the NFL. In terms of quarterback pressures, they are currently fifth most in the NFL with 59. And their pressure percentage, that is quarterback pressure percentage per dropback, is 21.2%, which again is around the, I want to say, 13 to 14 range from what I'm seeing here on this list. So overall, the Buccaneers pass rush is still in the upper half of the league right now in terms of getting after quarterbacks, in terms of applying pressure. The Bucs have been able to do that, especially in the past two games against the Atlanta Falcons and especially the New Orleans Saints. They have really done, in my opinion, a much better job of getting after the quarterback. However, I will say that the opportunity to add to that room is still a very appealing proposition, in my opinion. Look, Yaya Diaby right now is leading the way with 46 blitzes. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is there with 38. Yaya Diaby has 6 quarterback hurries this year, 5 quarterback knockdowns, 12 pressures. He only has 1 sack on the year. This is the guy who is supposed to be your top pass rusher right now, right? In the case of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, he has 3 quarterback hurries. That is second most on the team. He has 2 quarterback knockdowns. Anthony Nelson, Braswell, and Logan Hall all have more than him. In terms of quarterback pressures, Anthony Nelson and Logan Hall have more than him. And he's blitzing much more than these guys, by the way. Much more. Point being is that you can still make an argument, be it with Yaya Diaby, or I would even say more so in the case of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. By the way, both of those guys still only have 1 sack. Logan Hall and Anthony Nelson have both been outperforming pretty much both Yaya Diaby and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka so far to this point. So while you can't argue that, like, as a team they are able to get more pressure, I would still argue that the Bucs are still missing a dog in this defense, right? And the reason I brought up Drew Rosenhaus is because Drew Rosenhaus has a bit of a history with the Bucs. Chase Edmonds and KJ Britt are both clients of his. Obviously, both those players are still with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today. But a former client of his, a retired pass rusher recently, was Shaq Barrett. Drew Rosenhaus was the agent who negotiated the deal between Shaq Barrett and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Drew Rosenhaus knows that if the Buccaneers like a pass rusher, they will pay him. He has a good history of negotiating with the Bucs recently to get a top-tier pass rusher, top-tier money. And look, you know what you're getting in Hassan Reddick. 12 and a half sacks in 2020. A couple of the current Buccaneers coaches were there, by the way, whenever Reddick was drafted to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Todd Bowles was not there, but Larry Foote was there, co-defensive coordinator, and Tom Moore was there as well. Of course, Bruce Arians, who's still technically a part of the organization, is there as well. Maybe Todd Bowles will give Bruce a call and ask him his thoughts and opinions. But, of course, Reddick, 12 and a half sacks in 2020, 11 sacks in 2021, 16 sacks in 2022, and 11 sacks in 2023. He's had 4 straight years of double-digit sacks. Now we're 6 games into the season. Don't necessarily know if Reddick, especially having to learn a playbook and get going, would be able to hit double-digit sacks right away. But I think that he gives you a dog. Right? He gives you a dog in this defense, a top dog, and it adds so much more, right? Can you imagine a healthy Vita Vea, a healthy Hassan Reddick, Kalijah Cansey, seemingly an improved Logan Hall, all getting after the quarterback with Yaya Diaby in that mix, and JTS and Anthony Nelson as rotational guys? It's a pretty darn good pass rush, and I would give Hassan Reddick a bag. I would give him a couple-year deal. Look, you can move money around in today's cap space. We've seen it time and time again, right? Right now, the Buccaneers have, I believe, a little over $20 million in cap space, so they can get him immediately. And if it works out, great. I think that's awesome. The risk is that if it doesn't work out, which to that point, like if you're the Bucs, you're not going to pull a Jets and trade the guy without giving him some type of long-term deal. So like that's really a scenario where it is a it's just a move where it's like, it's not going to be a 1-year rental, right? Because Hassan Reddick doesn't want to do that. You'd have him for at least the next couple of years, and he's been very good. Now, what would the asking price be? Well, we just saw Davante Adams get traded for a 3rd-round pick. We just saw the Bills trade a 3rd-round pick for Amari Cooper. So a couple of big-name wide receivers are getting traded for 3rd-round picks. If I had to guess, I imagine you could see a similar cost for Hassan Reddick. If it was me, I'd pay a 3rd-round pick for Hassan Reddick just because of what he offers to this pass rush, right? And I've said in a previous video that the Bucs needed to trade for Hassan Reddick. Now, I still hold to that. I still think they should. Now, do I think they will? No, I don't think they will. I don't. I think that ultimately Reddick will stay with the New York Jets. I think that they're all in, especially after you just traded for Davante Adams. I think they're going to get a deal done with Reddick at the end of the day. But there are some interesting threads there. Larry Foote, co-defensive coordinator, is there. We haven't necessarily heard of any teams that may be targeting a trade for Hassan Reddick yet, but the trade deadline is coming up. You've already seen a couple of big-time moves get made. The Jets have literally gotten nothing out of Reddick so far up to this point, so it does make you wonder if they do move on from him, would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers be interested? I would still say no, but at the end of the day, you never know. You never know. There's some connections there. Agent of Shaq Barrett is now the agent of Hassan Reddick. There's a connection there. You have a couple of players that are already under the employ of Drew Rosenhaus, such as Chase Edmonds and KJ Britt. A couple of coaches that are with the Bucs now or with Reddick in Arizona, such as Larry Foote and Tom Moore. Bruce Arians was there as well. So there's a couple of interesting threads there, right? There's a couple of interesting threads, and I think that Rosenhaus adds another layer to this, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Do you guys want to see Hassan Reddick on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Do you think he would be a big boost to this defense and to this pass rush? Or do you feel like it would just be a waste? Would you give up a 3rd-round pick for Hassan Reddick? Or would you only want to give up like a 7th-round pick? I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. Again, I don't think the Bucs are going to trade for Hassan Reddick, but I do like giving you guys as much information as I possibly can on these scenarios. So, guys, again, hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. As always, folks, I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. See you soon, and go Bucs.